Have a nice little nap going on here. Well, going on. I had one. It was just a couple hours. I had turkey girl, turkey boy, little peeper here hanging out next to me, and of course, there's my Gummy-Bear. But sat and worked on sat and kind of wrote down what kind of rough menu I want to work with for the food cart, food truck, or whatever. And I figured, have a primary menu that I'd stick to, but I plan on having, cooking and serving other stuff. I plan on working in, no, turkey boy. No, bud. Come on, turkey girl. Come on. She decided to peck Momo on the nose, and turkey boy's like, okay, now do I move it? No, turkey boy. But I figured I can do like event or holiday style. That's what I'm calling, but event or holiday style menus during the holidays or special occasions. I want to do donations, stuff like that. I get this call coming. Oh, never mind. They hung up. But, and of course, while I was sitting here waking up and all that for a bit, I'm still waking up. I don't like the fact that it takes me a while. A lot of it does evolve around anxiety and shit. But I did sit and kind of search through houses a bit. I kind of went on Zillow and did this, like, they have this thing on there where you can, like, draw the boundary line or whatever for the area you're looking in. And I drew it through, like, 4 different states just to start. There's one house, obviously, in that grouping that I've got saved, which I'm surprised is still available. So it did. And see, even though it's a really nice home, I was paying attention to how long it had been up for sale, so it started making me wonder, okay, either it's the location or there's something wrong with it. If it's been up for sale for almost a year. It's like 20 days shy of a year, so I'm not sure what's up with it. Because it's actually, like I said, it's actually a pretty nice home. And the property's really nice. It's one I've already got saved. It's got just under 2 acres on it. But I did find 2 more that were within my price range that weren't too bad. Actually, they're actually nice. One has an acre. The other one I want to say a little less than that. I can't remember. Basically, I'm looking for, like, my folks' place, we have a half acre here. So something a half acre bigger. Large enough for the animals can run around in. Large enough to have some chickens and shit in there. And turkeys. I love my turkeys. Turkey eggs are pretty good too, and they get huge. But, also where I can have a rather large garden. That's like kind of like my happy place. There's a reason why I kind of like to come outside and sit outside. Don't really have my garden to work in anymore. Some people might think I'm really lazy. I'm not. I try to be relaxed and laid back on things. I don't like to be stressed out. Otherwise, it's just not good. So basically looking for a home where it's got things, the room that I can actually grow food and stuff in, not do this shit that my folks do and have done for years. And they're actually nice homes. I'm not trying to go and find something that's like, oh hey, this is a big fixer. No, I'm not going through that shit again. I understand if I gotta mow some lawns, do all that stuff, prune some trees and cut back some bushes or what have you. Might have to redo carpeting or something, but I am not gonna deal with a place like I dealt with my last one. Some of the states I've been looking in are, medical only for cannabis. There's one that's like med rec, but I just don't care. And then the other two, if I remember right, they're just it's the basically CBD and stuff like that's legal. But overall, I need to find, I think if I can just deal with this anxiety and the stress and find a way to manage it more, it might help a lot more on the energy and even on the pain from my NF. It sounds weird, but your body produces a different type of chemicals when you're in good moods. It produces different kinds of chemicals and stuff like that when you're not stressed out. When you're stressed out, your body starts producing shit that's bad for your body. It's not just like from what I'm doing habitually, which at least my smoking when it comes to cigarettes, I really need to quit. And that does a lot of times evolve around being stressed out. Hi, Peeper. You being a tough guy. I don't even know if you're a girl or a boy at this point right now, because half the time you look like Turkey Girl and half the time you walk around like you're Turkey Boy. And you're stepping on your own feathers. Is that comfortable? No? Then why are you stepping on your feathers, Peeper? Okay, there you go. You got them out. Of course, they hear neighborhood dogs, so Tiny wants to try and talk back. There's Tiny. He looks like a Labrador Retriever got their legs cut off. He's our tubby bear. How Tiny. And there's Masha. Turkey Boy. Snoopy, which Snoopy is my mom's dog. That's Andy. With him, you can actually see, like, in the shape of his head and all that. He looks closer to his mom than the others. But with his mom, you can see the mix of well, she's a cheapet. She's American Staffordshire. So when you look at Monkey, you might think he's part Staffordshire and part Lab, when really he's both of those. And then he's also got Bully and... See, Turkey wants to pick on Chunk. But we've got Bully, Lab, Chihuahua, and American Staffordshire, of all things. And their mom and dad is Coda and Misha. So like Chunk, you see him, you don't realize that he's actually their baby boy, even though he's like 3 times their size. My dogs are potty trained. We don't have the issues of them like peeing on everything in the house. Every now and then you have to deal with a leg lift from Coda or Andy. But we don't have that problem like my folks do, because they seem to don't potty train their animals at all. They just lay some fucking towels in front of the doors where their dogs like to do their business, and it's disgusting. I've had to live this way my whole life. I have had to deal with the embarrassment from friends coming over and all that and everything because of the shit I've had to grow up with. And people seem to think I like it. So, Peeper, quit picking on the dogs. Quit picking on the puppies. You don't need to pick on the puppies. Yeah, you don't need to pick on the puppies. No, I don't need you pecking at Momo. Momo's not doing anything to you. Peeper went, chesting up to. Peeper went chesting up on the to Momo on her back hip, and she starts wagging her tail, and she's just smacking Peeper upside the head. Peeper's like, "What are you doing?" Peeper's trying to be tough to the puppies. Hi, Peeper. Peep, peep, peep. Huh? Hi, Peeper. Yeah. You don't need to pick on the puppies. The puppies like you guys. No, Momo. See, Peeper's getting tough. What people don't realize is if Peeper gets one of my dogs just right, it's going to become lunch. And that's something I don't like to do at all. Considering Turkey Boy, he's like 11, 12 years old. Like, he's up there. He's a little over 10 years old. Peeper's maybe 6 months old now. Turkey Girl up there at the water, she's like 5 or 6. Maybe that. No, don't try it, Peeper. You're getting a little too aggressive, bud. But they're mostly pets, obviously. I don't, like, even with my chickens, I eat the eggs, I don't eat the chickens. So, I mean, I found the right place. I don't need to have, like, at one point I had a flock of, like, almost 40 chickens. And, I mean, I was producing, well, the chickens were, not me. We're producing like 5 to 10 dozen eggs a week. Easy. Way more than we could eat, and it got to a point that I was producing so much I wasn't able to sell them, so I'd sell them as quick, so I would trade. I would use them to trade. And that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I have inspirations from between just, basically a hobby farming, which is the equivalent of micro farming. Just hobby farming smaller. Micro farming is just a little bit bigger. That's where you got about an acre, between an acre, maybe 3 acres that you can farm on. And then you get into the 5-acre lots and stuff like that. And you're starting to get into the small farms. And then, obviously, you get bigger than that, you got farms. But eventually I want to be able to have a large enough garden to produce enough food that I can supply, like, basically all my produce that I need for the food cart and even the produce stand, or at least a chunk of different things. So I'm hoping at some point to be able to invest in a large greenhouse. What are you doing, Peeper? And that way I can keep the growing going year round. Man, Peeper is a pain in the butt. He just wants to pick on all the dogs. Chill and relax like Mr. Turkey, Peeper. But some of these places are smaller than my the current house that I've sold, and I gotta get my shit out of. Go down there, not this week. Yeah, not this week. Next week, around the 25th, I have to go deal with the septic guys. But then, gonna go down and finagle a U-Haul and get everything out. The pod thing got removed today. That got pulled out of there today. But no, I'm just obviously I'm still on a little bit on a bit of a roller coaster. It's just I'm continuing to put one foot in front of the other. It's not easy, but I continue to try and laugh when I need to. I try to keep a better attitude about things, even though I don't have like the greatest confidence in some stuff. When it comes to my earlier video, I went ahead and deleted it. I think people figure it out. That some will have contact still, or others, where the few that will have contact still, sorry turkey girl, that will have contact still, have my number. Some may get deleted or blocked, but they'll figure it out. For me, it's not about being upset about having to sign off of social media. It's about having to say goodbye to a lot of people I thought were friends of mine. It's kind of letting reality sink in. And I, in all honesty, didn't realize how alone I was till all this happened. So, kind of hard to go back to my old self when all the people who were a part of that fucked me up pretty good, and it wasn't just me. I recognize what I've been dealing with and what I've got to deal with, and I got to get help on it, and that's what I've been doing. So I can't exactly go get help and focus on the things that others need to deal with or focus on for them. And this includes friends. I'm not going to get used like I got used over the last several years. And part of me is starting to realize that I got used a lot going all the way back to high school. So, I mean, I'm done with a lot of this. I need some stability in my life, not more shit. And a lot of it starts with me just kind of focusing on career, business type thing. Sorry, Peeper, you can't be in the house, bud. Come on. But yeah. So I'd go back to house searching so I can get an idea. Because realistically, the type of business I want to open, I can open it almost anywhere. And the fact that I do want to start catering to, like, some of the, like, be able to do catering for, I don't know, like local bands and the bigger ones. And I'd like to focus mostly on, say, like the Christian community events, that type of stuff. Granted, I'm foul-mouthed, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I am foul-mouthed. But I'm also not. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I just know that I'm aware that I have a foul mouth. I have love flaws, but at the same time, I have to hope that God understands, because God knows what's in my heart. Others don't. That's obvious. Others don't. But no, I've got to help the old guy here soon go get the truck from Les Schwab because they're not able to replace the part. It was a brake line with a hole in it. Yeah, we can't find the parts. You can't make one. So I know other places can make one. So I gotta follow them back to here. Basically, I gotta go get the truck and then follow them back here so they can drop it off. That type of thing. And then Friday morning it'll get dropped off at another mechanic's place that who can fix it. Who can actually fix it? Like, if they knew where the freaking hole was, just could they mark it and just get in there and freaking put a temporary plug on that damn thing, if anything, on that, not on that brake line, but where that hole is. I know it wouldn't necessarily stop all the pressures, but damn. At least have them temporary, you know, a little bit of a bush fix until they get fixed, but it's only until Friday. So, day after tomorrow or something. And I think, you know, I'll have a better idea basically within the week or so of where I stand with certain things. I am gonna move. I've made that decision. I am gonna be severed. I not just am. I have severed a shit ton of ties right now, whether some like it or not, because this includes those that they really haven't done anything wrong. But I'm also not looking for people who are out to be like, I don't want to be somebody's. I don't necessarily want to be somebody's charity case. I miss having friends. Like, I miss having a friend. Genuine friends. And it sounds bad that way, you know. It should be that way in high school, but you know, I'm single now. And so when it comes down to it, you know, things have got to start somewhere. But no, I'm just trying to get my shit together and get the fuck out of here. It's the only way it's gonna happen. I mean, I've noticed, like, from going back to previous vids, I've gotten a lot better. I'm not on such a heavy roller coaster ride or anything like that. I still got my moments. A lot of it's evolving around just being tired. And then stressed out, not knowing what the hell I'm doing. I'm sort of having to feel my way in the dark through a lot of this stuff. When it comes to learning to cope, or knowing what to do to cope and heal and do all that stuff from this type of shit, I've been learning the tools to do so. And part of it, a big part of it, is separating myself from those who can easily trigger those moments. You know, I've got to, on top of it, it's being able to kind of reflect a bit, not just on yourself, like, what can I do to change things, which I know what I need to do to change. I've done a lot of reflecting. I've always been really hard on myself throughout life. I've never had a real high self-esteem. I've never had a shit ton of confidence because, well, I was born in a poor home, so my thoughts of myself is about the same as most of yours. Surprise. And part of that comes from hearing it almost all my life. If I knew I was going to end up in this situation, 12 years ago when I woke up in the hospital, I would not have put myself into this situation. I went backwards a long way from that. A part of me, though, is thankful to a degree because I wouldn't have met some of the people that I have necessarily. I'm not going to touch on that part because some of those people are genuinely really important to me. And of everybody that I've ever known, there's some of the few that treat me like a human being. And I've said that, I repeat that, and I'm going to stand by that. People who do that where I'm concerned stand out for me because it's not very often that it happens. And a lot of times, at first, when I'm around people, I, for some reason, will automatically give this benefit of a doubt that they're not going to treat me any worse than a pile of shit, basically. And a lot of times I get proven wrong and find out that that's just all I am to them. Where other people, like, yeah, they really stuck out. So I have a turkey boy at the doorway. Hi, turkey boy. And so I've just, yeah, I won't forget those people at all. Never will I forget them. There's some that really kind of stepped up and that were really nice to try and help me get through this bullshit. It's just, I'm not sure, as much as it might upset them, I'm not sure about, not just the genuinity? I can't pronounce that damn word. Genuinity? But there's some that they gotta realize that, telling me how much they want to take care of me or help take care of me or do all this stuff, I was promised that by somebody else, and I'm not gonna allow that to be a re-trigger for me. I'm not looking for someone to take care of me. I'm looking, if it comes to relationship, and when it comes to relationship, I'm looking for someone who wants to work with me. Who doesn't just want, no, that's my toe. That doesn't just want, stability and everything else like that. And commitment. I want someone who's willing to go through the shit with me, just like I am with them. If that makes sense. I don't necessarily... I come off as a kid a lot, and I understand that. I'm in my 40s, and I know I have a lot of kid-like qualities, and a lot of that does come from my ASD. That's something I can't control, but it's something I try to stay aware of. And I try to keep on. Yet, part of me also is aware that's probably why I enjoyed being a dad so much. But I'm looking for that happiness that I had hoped I had found and only found I was lied to about it. And this time around, I'm going to put the work in, even more work in to do it right this time. I put all the work I could into the last one. They put nothing into it. And if I'm going to put that kind of work into someone, I'm going to be picky. It sounds bad, but I'm going to be picky. Even if it means I'm going to be alone the rest of my life. I don't care. I want someone to treat me like a person, treat me as their equal, and realize that a relationship is 50-50 in teamwork. We work together. If somebody's going through shit, you're there to help them through it. You support them, not fight over it, or see how much more you can get out of them. That's what happened to me, and you're not there to use that to guilt them either. You should be there for each other, no matter what. If there's kids involved, whether they're yours or not, you should be able to be there for them, no matter what. Try to be the parent that you would think the other parent would want you to be to their child. In short, even if they're a good parent or not, you have to try and hope that they are, whether you know them or not. I have a lot of things I've got to work on, and I've got a lot of things that I'm correcting. I just don't like the fact that I'm stuck in this stage where I'm just waiting for this shit on the house to finish. It's supposed to be done by no later than September 7th. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.